Hi there and welcome. Today I wanted to talk about all the films that were released in the UK in 2024 that I watched, and it's quite poetic actually because I watched 52 films that were released in 2024. So I'll go from bottom to top. You'll see my enthusiasm ramp up later on because there's a bunch of films that I just didn't care for. First of all, The Watchers at number 52. Didn't like where it went. I totally disassociated with it. I thought, not even the premise, but I thought what I saw in the trailer, and I don't always watch trailers, that, okay, you've got this glass structure in the woods, monsters are attacking, what can they do with the dynamic there? Didn't care for where it went. I think it was based on source material. So yeah, just not something I'm into. Next up, Our Little Secret, a Netflix original, I believe. Lohan stars, and she's got that deal with Netflix, so she's doing your Christmas, your romance films or whatever. Didn't care for it. Next up, 50, Platform 2. That's another Netflix film. Not sure what country it's made in. You can watch it dubbed or with subtitles, maybe even French. I haven't watched the original The Platform, which came out a few years ago, which got rave reviews. People really enjoyed it. In hindsight, maybe I should have watched The Platform and I would have appreciated number 2 more. I just didn't. It was a whole bunch of it didn't enlighten me at all, you know. But maybe I need to watch number 1, the original. Next up, Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. Really disappointed. So massively disappointed. You'll look at the list and you'll think, oh, there's other films that are much better than that. That Ghostbusters is much better than, and I've got other films higher up. But I was just so disappointed because I really enjoyed Afterlife. I enjoy this new cast of characters, and I thought they just, you know, especially the lad who led the previous film, he had nothing to do. Didn't like certain subplots. There was no magic in it. You're back in New York, and it was just, for me, terrible. Next up, The Strangers. They're calling it Part 1 now because they want to do a trilogy, I believe. Yeah, remake. The remake is unnecessary. It's a worse remake. Everything they do in this remake is worse than what they did in the original. There are things to improve in the original. It's not a masterpiece or anything like that. I'll tell you what, we enjoyed it at the time though. What was that, 2009? We really enjoyed that. So yeah, the remake, didn't enjoy it. Next up, Time Cut. I believe that's another Netflix film. Off the coattails of another sort of time travel sort of like slasher film that came out a few years ago on Amazon. This one's called Time Car anyway. It's inferior to the Amazon one. Waste of time. Next up, Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley. Revitalizing, or they tried to revitalize the old Beverly Hills Cop franchise. Nothing to rave about at all. Yeah, I can't actually. It was quite a few months now. I hope I had a few laughs out of it, but it didn't do anything for me. Next up, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Henry Cavill. This is Guy Ritchie directed this, I believe. It's so far down because I can't remember it. I literally watched it once. I can't remember it. So yeah. Next up, Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Don't like where they're going with this. I hope that the only way they can claw me back is if they tie it to like the original, like this new set of trilogy eventually leads to some sort of, I don't know, they go to another, I don't know, but if they link it back to the original Planet of the Apes with the space travel, so I don't know what they could do, but really didn't like this, uninteresting. Fell asleep a little bit through it. Did go to a late night showing, to be fair. Next up, Mean Girls. This is another remake. There's a theme here. There's lots of remakes, sequels, prequels. There's an article I read about this, actually. I think the box office this year in the US or something was totally consumed by like legacy sequels and stuff like that. Some of them are good. A lot of them are unnecessary. And it's just unimaginative, isn't it? It's so lack of... it's becoming devoid of... fresh thoughts. That was Mean Girls. Wasn't better than the original. Next up, Late Night with the Devil. Now, my fellow peers on YouTube, but a lot of you guys like this. I really wanted to. I do want to watch it again. I don't have any taste for watching it again in the near future. Just didn't do it for me. Next up, Tarot. Tarot is something I watched, oh gosh, maybe in the summer. It's like it's a really basic script. They kill off the people really easily, and some of the kill. There were moments where I enjoyed it. It's a pretty basic sort of like teenager horror film. And the final confrontation is so easily like resolved. It's quite unbearable actually. After that, Abigail. Now, this is one of the biggest shockers for me of the year, because I thought, going like with the premise of the film, a hostage situation, break in, and there's a plot twist. I thought I'd really enjoy this. You got Melissa as well, from the actor from the Scream franchise. I would like to see it again down the line. It didn't wow me in any way. Like, nothing really like jumped out at me for that film, which is really surprising. It really is. I'm more surprised than anyone else who actually liked it. Next up, Back to Black, Amy Winehouse biopic. Yeah, I mean, it certainly could have been angled a whole different way instead of going in like very rigid directions that it went in. That's like the biggest criticism you can give it. Next up, The Dead Don't Hurt. Now, I watched like a mystery screening for this film at the cinema where you don't know what you're going to see. The Dead Don't Hurt. It's like a romance film with your man that played Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. Viggo Mortensen. Love that guy. Really love him. Think he's phenomenal. I enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting to see that film, so I just went into it and after the initial shock of being, okay, we're watching this, but it was really lovely. It's like a period piece, a couple hundred years ago in the US, I believe. I have forgotten some things already, but it is an enjoyable film. I might even appreciate it more in later in life. Next up, Hundreds of Beavers. This was a blind buy on Blu-ray. It's like a comedy. Really imaginative and artistically done, and a lot of hard work and craft went into this film. It's funny, really funny. It hit the spot for me. Hundreds of Beavers is really funny and really clever, and quite different. If you're looking for something different, go for Hundreds of Beavers. Next up, Irish Wish. This is another Netflix film. Again, Lindsay Lohan. I liked Irish Wish. Yeah, really liked it. Lindsay Lohan, she's like a bridesmaid. She's going to her friend's wedding in Ireland. She imagines if she was married to the groom, instead of her mate, a wish is made, and she lives that life, and then finds out if she'd really like him or not. I did like it. So now we're actually into films, as well as the two before that I enjoyed. So next up is Ricky Stenicki at 35. Ricky Stenicki, you got Zac Efron, you got John Cena, you got a few other guys. Silly comedy. Zac Efron's done a few of these in his career. Zac Efron's one of my favourite actors. Just got an affinity to him. And John Cena gets humiliated, really. He has to wear like dresses and stuff, and I don't really, just quite bizarre and disgusting to see. But other than that, no, Ricky Stenicki's a funny, stupid film. Not a brilliant comedy, but there's laughs to be had. Next up, Woman of the Hour, Netflix film, based on a true story of the 70s, I believe maybe. A guy masquerading as like a photographer would lure women in, and then bad things would happen. He even went on a game show. This really happened in real life. I guess that's how his doom came about. Tried to get one of the girls after. I've actually seen the main actor in this film. She was in another film that I've seen on this list as well. She's always a joy to watch. Next up, A Family Affair, another Zac Efron film. Good cast. Not many people are going to like this film, maybe, or they won't have it as high up on their list. A Family Affair, I just found quite nice. It is Zac Efron, so. Next up, The Exorcism, Russell Crowe. I've got a soft spot for this film, man. I've got a soft spot. Like the darkness that it goes into and what Russell Crowe does with his character, I enjoyed. Not the best of scripts. Quite basic. But yeah, no, I enjoyed like Russell Crowe's performance. There's a particularly scene when he goes into his daughter's room after he's like turning, and it's particularly dark. Next up, 31, Mad Max Furiosa. Really disappointed because I mean the previous Mad Max film was phenomenal. Fury Road is one of my favorites, and the engineering that went in to make that film, like mostly practical with all the CGI to like, you know, make it more, I guess, like film cinema worthy or whatever. But like the practicality of Fury Road was amazing, and this one just downgrades. How can you? I don't know how you go from Fury Road and then the studio not allowing you to do what you did there, like to base off the build off of the success of that, and you go backwards. Yeah, really disappointed. And having the dude play the main character, the dude from the Marvel franchise, come in, I think he was the worst casting you could have made for that. Next up at number 30, The War of the Rohirrim, Lord of the Rings, like an anime style. Really appreciate it did anime, because I like anime. Just didn't like where the story, the whole retreating aspect of the main characters in Helm's Deep, and then we spent a long time there. Yeah, I liked the first half. Didn't like where it went. Didn't like where the battle was being, you know, and the hostage, the type of, you know, standoff situation. Didn't enjoy that. Next up, Carry On, Netflix film, Christmas, Taron Egerton. Enjoyable, not great. I don't see myself watching it again, although that's not out of the question. Enjoyable. It's one of those plot holy films that you can look through and go, oh, why is it doing, you know, one of them ones. Next up, Lisa Frankenstein. I've watched this 3 times now, I believe. Lisa Frankenstein's, every time I watch it, I love it a little bit less, which is sad. It's the one half of the Sprouse twins, and I forget her name, the other lead, but she's brilliant. They make a good pair. I like the setting. It's 70s or 80s. It's fun, nice, warm film to watch. Next up, Trap. Trap was like one of a lot of our sort of like most anticipated films when we heard that M. Night Shyamalan was making this type of film. Don't like where it wound up. I like the first setting of where it is in the arena, and whatever happens after that, not for at all, not for. But like the whole bit was really fun, the build up to this film, and everything in the arena was really enjoyable, just because it's just the mystery behind it and the what if situation. Next up, this is an unexpected watch, and this wasn't on my plans. I just thought I wanted to watch another film from 2024, and so I chose Unfrosted. It's like it's like a fictional tale of like two cereal companies fighting, like I guess it's pop. Anyway, 2 cereal companies. It's like a fictional version of what went on when they were sort of going at it, like in the sort of like trying to make cereal in America, I believe. But it's really funny, really, really funny. One of the biggest surprises of the year for me, in fact. Next up, 25, Mufasa. I didn't know what to make of this because I haven't seen the other live action Disney Lion King film, the previous one from I believe 2019. Didn't have any care to do that. Why would I? You know, I've seen the original Lion King. It's got pride of place in my childhood. So I didn't need to see the remake. And they call it live action. It's not live action. It's motion capture of real animals, and then they computerize it, and so nothing to do with live action at all. Certainly not this one. This Mufasa, but the story was good. The songs, is it Liz-Manuel Miranda? He does the songs for this. They're all like below subpar. They're just, none of them stick out to you. The only one that I can't remember the lyrics to, but the one I liked, because I didn't like any of them, the brother one, when Mufasa goes to stay with Scar, and they're sort of like jumping around the tree and they're singing "Oh brother, oh brother." That was good. Apart from that, the songs are not good. I do like the story. Do like the whole story of Mufasa getting separated, going to stay with Scar, learning different aspects of growing up from the female lions rather than the males, and seeing how the king, like Scar's father, is unworthy of the title of, you know, Lion King, and his morals and that he puts onto his son lead Scar down a lead him down the wrong path. rather than Mufasa's story of going out, defending his surrogate mother, protecting people, rising to the occasion, being shunned, and always sticking to his guns. And I like the whole duality between the two characters there. Next up, Roadhouse. Roadhouse is really fun, really fun. Roadhouse is fun. Next up, Deadpool and Wolverine. It's just such a, like, I can't believe people are still. I can see why, like, you're young and you like all these Marvel films, and like the original Deadpool film, really good, fantastic. Surprised that they even made a film like that, you know, with its sort of Marvel image and with the adult rating. Number 2, not as good, but still fun. This one is just so, like, it's like a 5-second reel of just like crap gags, just don't hit. Look, listen, the only reason why this film should have been made is to see Hugh Jackman. It doesn't have to be Hugh Jackman, I guess, but Wolverine in the yellow comic accurate suit, and then having them two, like, the best bits of them two, like, going at each other kind of thing. Waste of time. Next up, 22, Wicked. Another surprise for me. It's not something that I would necessarily go for or be excited for. Went to the cinema to see it. It was really fun. Really enjoyed it. The songs don't stand out to me. So that's really disappointing. But the story, I'm here for the story. I liked it. I liked the whole production. Really big, grand film. There's more dissection I could do with that film. I'm not just singing its praises. There's definitely a dissection to be made there for Wicked. Next up, Longlegs. Disappointing. We were led to believe that it was going to be really good. A la, you know, films like Silence of the Lambs. They were telling it, and I should know by now that, like, you know, films are sold in this way to build up hype, to make the most money possible, and I get it. You know. And it's not that people are lying to you when they tell you this is the greatest film since Silence of the Lambs or whatever, and they're going to put whatever they want. It's up to you to decide whether you want to go and see it, spend your money on it, or spend your time watching it. And I chose to spend time watching it. I didn't love it. Liked aspects of it. Perhaps my adoration is marred by the whole building up to it, maybe, because you were led to believe by, like, credible sources that it was going to be really good. I certainly would like to see it again. I'm going to watch it a few more times for sure, see what else I can get out of it. The performance, the villain's performance, that was good. Again, it had this whole grandiose nature to it beforehand, so that's another film that I'll go into deeper along the line. Next up, Sonic 3. Really enjoyed Sonic 3. People saying Sonic 3 is better than the sequel. No. Sequel's really good. Original, I haven't watched it since its release, but I didn't like it. The sequel's really good. Sonic 3, really enjoyable. I did not like the final setting for the battle, being on, like, a station in the sky, and they're having to sort of defend Earth kind of thing. I wanted it to be more of, like, a, you know, like, running around, showing everyone off, showing everyone's powers off and whatnot, not stuck on a battle station. Having Shadow there is great, and that they did some mature storyline with that, which I really appreciate, and I think that's really important for children to learn these, lessons rather than just being all cuddly, right? Next up, Twisters. Twisters are really fun. I recently watched the original leading up to Twisters, actually. Both films are really good. Original is probably better, but I enjoy Twisters. Next up, Terrifier 3. Terrifier 2 is crazy, and it's like, just goes in my modern sort of, just like, wow, I can't believe they've sort of made this, and it's getting made, and everyone gets to enjoy it, and more people are part of it, and on board for it, and it's making loads of money. Terrifier 3 is, because I think Damien Leone, the creator, is making it into a franchise and wants to flesh out the story between however many films, 4 or 5 films. It seems like he halted it here. Like, he done a lot for the sequel, and then now in this one, he sort of, like, put the brakes on it and just made a film where it just kills. There's no, I don't know, I didn't feel that there was much to go on in terms of story. Yeah, so 17, Maxine. Would like to see this film again. Did enjoy it, did enjoy the setting. I thought they were going to do more with like because they were basing it on the sort of like the 70s murders, wasn't they? The serial killer murders. So I'd like to see if they would have done something more there. Performances are great. Yeah, I'd like to see Maxine again. I did enjoy it, really enjoyed it. Next up, Alien Romulus. There are moments in that film that I can't forgive. Reenacting lines from previous films. That's pathetic. But overall, see, I'm torn because it's a really good film, and I think it's a really good film. Enjoyed lots of the tense moments of it. Enjoyed the cast. Enjoyed the story. It's just certain moments that I can't believe. The director and the creators would allow that to happen to themselves. Like if they were told to do that or they did that. If they did it themselves, that's even worse. If they were told to do it and went along with it and didn't say anything in interviews, I don't know what to think of the situation. But I did enjoy the film. 15, The First Omen. I enjoyed The First Omen. I enjoyed it. Didn't know what to think being like a prequel to The Omen. But yeah, First Omen's good. Really good. I think that's the film with like there's a scene with fire in the basement or something. It's really good. 14, Bad Boys Ride or Die. Really funny, really funny. They're still making really good funny films, and with the sort of action orientated POV of the shots, of like how the action is sort of like the cinematography. You don't get that in many films, and I wouldn't like to see that in all the films. Trust me, in like all films that you watch. But in the Bad Boys franchise, it's really fun to see. Number 13, The Fall Guy. Really enjoyed The Fall Guy. Love the romance aspect of it. Love the cast. Love the action, the drama. Really love The Fall Guy. One of my favorites. Number 12, Gladiator 2. I didn't know what to expect going into this, and I didn't actually want to see it. When I heard it was being made, heard it was coming out, I wasn't on board for it at all. I give it a chance. Not as good as the original, but I did enjoy it. Really enjoyed it. Would like to see it again. I didn't believe the main character, Pascal, or Paul. Anyway, the lead. I didn't believe he was as. There was a time when he was like, jollying up like the sort of gladiators at one point, and made him to be like the sort of leader. The way he got into that position, he got into that position by like fighting a monkey off in the first round of being a gladiator and other stuff. But I didn't believe that he'd done enough to rally the troops as such. Denzel Washington's performance is phenomenal. The two emperors, really enjoyable. Having like the storyline of him being the son, I can't get on board with that. It's so devoid of imagination. But and then they because they called it Gladiator, they want to stick to like the story. I don't know what to think of that either. If you're gonna call it Gladiator, I can see why they've stuck to the story of the original one and followed that, because it's the Gladiator franchise. That's what people come to see in a Gladiator film. But I don't believe that is. It's not what the audience doesn't decide what film is going to be made. It's whatever the director and the creators and the writers make, and I guess studios make films as well. Whatever they decide to make, you take punts on things, right? They decided to build off of Gladiator 1. They did that, and I did enjoy it. So, yes. Okay, number 11, Rebel Ridge, Netflix film. Highly recommend it. I didn't know what to make of the sort of like trailer, what angle they would go in, if they would be to like too like, and I know all films are political, but I didn't know what slant they were going at. But I tell you what, Rebel Ridge is phenomenal. It's like a modern Rambo, but not on steroids. Okay, Rebel Ridge is really fun. That the main actor, he's blinding. He's mesmerizing. Right, number 10, Inner Violent Nature. And this is a slasher film from the POV, point of view of the killer. I'm over the moon, honestly, with the fact that this film has been created and I get to witness it. A long time coming. There'll probably be a sequel. Really enjoyed Inner Violent Nature. The kills are that Inner Violent Nature and Terrifier 3 are doing things for horror in like body horror and like kills that you've just never seen before. Number 9, Monkey Man. Really proud that and I forget his name, but the dude got to make his film. Took a long time to do it, making it 4 or 5 years ago. Really enjoy Monkey Man. Number 8, Love Lies Bleeding. This is another big surprise for me. I took a punt on it, and really enjoy the two main leads. They do a brilliant job of being thrust into this sort of carnage and just one madness to the next. Really enjoyed the story. Really enjoyed that the sort of like fitness gym aspect, the detail derailing into like, you know, carnage. Like Love Lies Bleeding, really good. Can't wait to see that again. Number 7, Sting. Can't wait to see this one again. Sting's really funny. And funny was the wrong word. It's a horror film. It's tame. It's suitable for all ages, I would say. Has funny moments. Yeah, Sting's one of my favourites of the year. Number 6, Kneecap. Massive surprise. This was another mystery screening that I watched in the cinema. This is about a real life Irish band, a pair of rappers and their DJ. And it's like I guess like the true story with obviously that little like, you know, sprinkles of fiction, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, the story is of Kneecap is really good, really inspiring, really fun. And I think the two leads that are actually rappers in the band, like they actually played the characters themselves. So that's really cool. Yeah, Kneecap is a brilliant film. If you're looking for something different, watch Kneecap. Number 5, The Iron Claw. Wow, drama to the high degree. Another Zac Efron film. Great cast, great phenomenal story. I didn't know much about it. I dabble in wrestling. Didn't know this story. And what's most shocking is there's more heartbreak in what happened in real life than what they depicted in the film. The Iron Claw is a ridiculously good drama. Number 4, Dune Part 2. Love the new Dune franchise. Headed by a phenomenal creator and director. Genius mind. Always making great films that I love to rewatch. Yeah, he done another phenomenal job with Dune 2. Went in a different direction as well at the end with the Cheney character, which is going to be really fascinating to see in the later films, to see where that dynamic goes, because I've read all of the books and he's obviously going in a different direction, or he's going to join it up. So I don't know where he's going, but I do like the fact that, like, you know, a female has autonomy. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to be. He's pretty faithful to the books, right? So if he's deviating in different aspects, then that's okay, because he's made a great film. Number 3, Bike Riders. Like, love Bike Riders. Really love Bike Riders. Like, it's so good. So intense. So, like, I love to be in that world, you know. It might not be a world that you want on your front doorstep or whatever, but it happened in real life. It happens all across the world. There's communities of people that are different from you, and Bike Riders is fascinating. Okay, number 1 and 2, they're the best of the year. So I'm going to go number 2, Immaculate. Horror film, Sydney Sweeney. She gives the performance of her career. Wicked horror. There's not been many horrors this year that I've really loved, but Immaculate's amazing. And so number 1, Transformers 1. Aimed at children. It's a cartoon. But the messages it gives you in that film are really grown up, and that's what I applaud the most. Transformers 1, biggest surprise of the year. That was all the films I watched in 2024. Thank you very much.